All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about something that hits pretty much all of us right where it counts, our wallets, taxes. There's a brand new income tax bill for 2025, and believe me, it's packed with some pretty big changes. But to really get what's new, we've got to first understand what went wrong with the last one.
And this is where the story gets really interesting. See, before this shiny new bill, there was another one. It was introduced, got all this attention, and then poof, it was gone. Just withdrawn, almost as fast as it appeared. So the big question is, why? Why would you go through all the trouble of drafting a massive new law only to yank it off the table right away? So, to solve this little mystery, we have to start with the bill that disappeared. Its strange, very short life is actually the key to understanding why we even have this new one today.
Okay, look at this timeline. It is incredibly short. The bill gets introduced in February 2025, right? It's immediately sent off to a review committee, and by August, just 6 months later, it's completely withdrawn. I mean, 6 months for a major law that's like a blink of an eye in legislative terms. It's so fast. So what on earth did that committee find? And that really gets us to the heart of it. Why hit the reset button? Why start all over on such a critical law? Well, it turns out it wasn't some big political shift or a change in philosophy. It was all about the nitty-gritty, getting the details right. The report that came back from that committee, whoa. It was basically a bombshell. We're talking over 280 suggested changes. Now, you have to understand, in the world of lawmaking, that is not a suggestion box. That is a massive red flag. It's a sign that the original bill wasn't just a little off, it was fundamentally broken. And we're not talking about a few typos here. The committee found huge problems, things like major drafting errors, cross-references that led to dead ends. It was a mess. It made the whole thing almost impossible to understand clearly. So the government was kind of stuck. They could either try to slap hundreds of Band-Aids on a sinking ship, which would probably just make it more confusing, or they could build a brand new ship. And that's exactly what they did. They decided to start fresh with a single, clean bill. And that brings us to the main event, the new tax blueprint. This is the do-over, the revised version. It's designed from the ground up to be simpler, clearer, and honestly, a lot nicer to us, the taxpayers. So, let's crack it open and see what's inside. Okay, for most people, this right here is the headline. This is the big one. The income limit for getting a full tax rebate has shot up. It went from 7 lakh, that's 700,000 rupees, all the way up to 12 lakh, that's 1.2 million rupees. This is a huge deal, and it's aimed squarely at giving the middle class some breathing room. And get this, it's not just the income limit that's going up. The actual amount of the rebate you can get has more than doubled. It's gone from 25,000 rupees up to 60,000. That's just straight up more money that stays in your bank account, not the taxman's.
Now, this next change is less about the numbers and more about, well, a change in attitude. It's a real shift in philosophy. The new bill basically says, hey, we get it. People make honest mistakes. So if you make an error on your taxes and it's not on purpose, you're not trying to pull a fast one, you won't be penalized. The whole idea is to make the tax system feel less like a battle and more, fair. So beyond those big headline grabbers, the bill does a ton of really important housekeeping. It cleans things up. The legal language is simpler, which is a relief for everyone. There are clearer rules for things like pensions and trusts. And here's a good one. Homeowners won't get hit with extra tax on a vacant property. You see the pattern here, right? The theme is just make it simpler. Cut out the confusion wherever you can.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. We've seen the old bill get tossed and the new one come in. But let's bring it all home. What does this actually mean for you, for your bottom line? When you boil it all down, it comes down to 3 key things. First, and most importantly, more cash in your pocket. That's thanks to those higher rebates. Second, less headache. Filing your taxes should just be easier with a simpler law. And third, way less stress. You don't have to panic about making an honest mistake because the system is built to be a bit more understanding now. So here's the real bottom line. With that new rebate limit hitting 1.2 million rupees, a massive chunk of the middle class is now going to pay very little tax. And for a lot of people, it means paying no income tax at all. If you're looking for the single biggest real-world impact of this bill, that's it, right there.
All right, let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. All of these separate changes, the rebates, the simpler language, the no penalty rule, they're all pieces of a much larger puzzle. They're part of a vision for what our entire tax system could look like. So, is this the start of a fairer future?
I mean, that's the stated goal, right? The mission here isn't just to fiddle with the numbers. It's a full-on attempt to drag a 60-year-old law into the modern age, make things more transparent, and give people some genuine financial relief. So the ambition is definitely there. A simpler, fairer, more modern tax system. Sounds great. But the real question is, will this new bill actually deliver? Or, is the devil going to be hiding in the details somewhere? That's the big question we'll all be watching. Thanks for tuning into this explainer.